Rappers have been praising Trump for over a decade and ignoring real heroes. Americans have been, excited about those who make money without thinking about the exploitation that may be involved with that money for ages. It's just a reflection of our values. We get the leaders we deserve, It's just a reflection of our values. I mean, I'm dead serious. We've been pumping up motherfuckers who have warped values in terms of capitalism, exploitation, not caring for the poor. I mean, you hear it reflected in so much shit, like why are we so fascinated with the rich anyway? Like, isn't that the only reason why we're watching like Kardashian shit is like richness and fat asses? I think that's the idea, right? But I don't know what our fascination is, but if you think those things don't have an effect, all of those things are parts of our diet, So like, you watch that shit that's like, a bag of Cheetos. Eat a bag of Cheetos and go to the bathroom, look at the color of your shit. Does it have no effect? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things have an effect. The effect of the bullshit that we ingest, reflects the bullshit that we're given, the possibility to elect. I mean, to me, it's just stupid. I don't even know how I feel about the idea of giving, the bullshit airplay. Because honestly, most of my responses to anything, Flint, Trump, I'm just like, well, yeah, that's the bullshit we're talking about. Trump, yeah, that's the bullshit we're talking about. Like, it's all, in the same boat of just this sort of negligence that falls under these banners that are not, as simple as just racism or something like that, I think that we all fall victim to layers and layers upon layers of reactionary stupidity. And that's not just America, that's everywhere. Fascism is in a rise across Europe right now. Well, I mean, America was fresh initially because of its open borders. America was fresh initially because it had found a way to silently pacify and murder, the indigenous that were here in order to open its doors to those who wanted to come from Europe and those that they enslaved along the way. And that's how and why it was the new world and offered new possibilities. The absurdity in this, immigrant heaven suddenly turning against immigrants is, it's just more of the absurdist sort of nonsense that is to be expected with time, because people forget, people become complacent, people become comfortable, people become fearful. And you can see an evolution in consciousness even where, like, you might say that 100 years ago, mystery, look at our relationship to mystery in the West. It used to be that the idea of someone who was mysterious, that evoked a greater sense of beauty. You can hear it. You watch an old film like, he was tall, dark, and handsome, and there was something mysterious about her. You watch those old, what do you call it, film noir films, and you can see the role that mystery played in evoking a sense of beauty. And through time, we've grown to align mystery, the unknown, with what we should be afraid of, with what we should fear. I think that teaching and propagating fear is dangerous. It's part of the beef that I have with religion. It's often the beef that I have with nationalism. These projections of just like fear God or fear the terrorist or all this shit. I find that it is usually used not because we should be afraid, but because the people who are saying that or using that are trying to control us. It's easy to control groups of people if you have already instilled fear in them. If you want to be safe, do it this way. Fear the enemy. That's why we're asking more people to sign up for the army. That's why we're asking you to accept these cut-in wages, because we have an enemy that, you know, like, you can get away with a lot of shit. The Patriot Act, you can get away with a lot of shit when people are afraid.
The greatest Americans have not been born yet. They're waiting patiently for the past to die. Please give blood. Those crumbled tablets would share a story with a burning bush. Where is that voice from nowhere to remind us that the holy ground we walk on, purified by native blood, has rooted trees whose fallen leaves now color code a sacred list of demands? Who among us can give translation of autumn hues to morning news? The anchor man thrown overboard has simply rooted us in history's repeating cycle, a nation in its Saturn years that won't acknowledge karma. Where is that voice from nowhere, the ones your prophets spoke of? There are voices from fear, disconnected from their diaphragms, dangling from coffee-covered teeth that spill into our laps and scorch our privates. There are voices from the sides of necks, some already noosed, dangling participles, pronouns running for sentence, serving life in corner offices and ghetto corners. Their voices are the same, dead to themselves, numb to the possibility of truth existing beyond that which they can palm in their hands, period. There are voices of elders, which seem to do no more than damn us to our childish ways, for in many households wisdom no longer comes with age. So where is that voice from nowhere, that burning bush, that passing dove? I hear the voices of generals calling for ammunition, presidents calling for arms, women calling for help. Where is that voice from nowhere, that God of Abraham? Can he be heard over the gunfire, the whiz of passing missiles, the crash of buildings, the cries of children, the crack of bones, the shriek of sirens? Or is that his mighty voice? Your angry God craving the sacrifice of virgin generation sons degenerate. Your holy books written in red ink on burning sands. Your prayers between rounds do no more than fasten the fate of your children to the hammered truth of your trigger. A truth that mushrooms its darkened cloud over the rest of us, so that we too bear witness to the short-lived fate of a civilization that worships a male god. Your weapons are phallic, all of them. That dummy that sits on your lap is no longer a worthwhile spectacle. His shrunken pale face leaves little room for imagination. We have spotted your moving lips and have pinned the voice to its proper source. It is a source of madness, a source of hunger, of power, a source of weakness, a source of evil. We have exited your coliseum and are encircling your box office, demanding our families back, our cultures back, our rituals back, our gods back, so that we may return them to their proper source, the source of life, the source of creation, our mother's room, the great goddess. We will cut through the barbed wire hangers and chastity belts. We will climb in and incubate our spirits through the winter. We will wait through the degenerate course of your repeated history. We will wait for the past to die.